Sometimes it's the insulin spike that makes you retain so much fat due to insulin resistance. So anytime you're just finishing your meal, welcome to Just Beast. I'm your trainer Jasper Bravo. Today I'm taking you through tricks, tips and hacks that you can use in your diet just to help you lose those pounds and have that aesthetic body that you've been looking for. Here we're starting right now. The first one, which is number one thing, you know that if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to be in a caloric deficit, which means you're trying to eat less than you really require. And maybe the problem you're having is you're eating too much. Now, for those who are having this problem, this number one trick is just the best for you. This is drink water 30 to 10 minutes before your meals. How does this help? Number one, anytime you drink water just before a meal, it will send some fake signals into your brain to make you believe that you are full. So when you get into eating or when you start feeding yourself, what's going to happen is you are going to eat, but not as much as you could have. So you'll be in a situation where you get full faster just because of the fact that you felt a bit fuller just before you went into your meals. But now the problem a mistake that many of us do when especially we are trying to lose weight is we get to eating when we are super thirsty and hungry, and sometimes confuse being thirsty with being hungry. So you get there and you eat so much. Then after that is when you notice you are thirsty. Then now you force feed yourself with water and you find that your stomach is overstretched. So the best thing just to make sure that this is not happening to you is make sure you drink some water some few minutes before your meals. The second trick is anytime you feel hungry, drink some water. I know this is sounding very weird. Somebody can think that I'm being crazy or something, but do you know that sometimes your mind tells you, your brain sends signals to your system that shows you that you're actually hungry, and what's really happening to you, sometimes you're just thirsty, you're not hungry. And after taking water is when you notice, by the way, I wasn't hungry, I was just thirsty. So just before you jump into eating that stuff that you want to jump, that cake, that piece of cake, that ice cream, ask yourself first, when last did I eat? And is it normal for me to be hungry at this time? And when last did I drink some water? And after answering these questions, chances are you're going to notice that you might be just thirsty. And if you find that's the situation, just drink some water and you relax, you'll be good. And that will allow you to reduce the amount of calories you're just having. Trick number 3, a very important tool. This is always fill your food with a lot of fibers. A lot of fibers are stuff like oatmeals, are stuff like fruits which are full of fibers like pawpaw, we have pineapple, we have we have vegetables like kales. We have so very many. You know all those stuff that have so much fiber. Try to incorporate these in your meal. So when you're having your lunch, for instance, and you want to have some beef and some rice, make sure that you pack that food of yours with a lot of fibers. Let's say a lot of kales or spinach. What this is going to do to you is it's going to make you full for longer, because fibers are what is responsible for making us feel full. So as you eat and you have fibers in your meal, the chances of you eating less because you're going to feel fuller faster is higher compared to somebody who gets to their meals and they make sure that their meal, or they just make their meal is simple without any type of carbs. Any type of fibers. Let's say it's just highly processed sweets, some juice, or some piece of cake or some juice or some soda or any of these things that have no fiber. You see, when you have, or some wheat, any of these things, when you have them and they have no fiber, what is going to happen is you're really going to feel hungry faster. And number 2, you're going to eat much more, because when there's no fiber there, you're going to feel that you're fuller. You're going to feel that you're fuller slower. You'll eat so much without feeling any fuller. And then another advantage, just as a by the way, another advantage also of having this fiber is that they're going to help your gut to be healthier, because they really assist your system in digestion, and that's going to make the digestion quicker. And when the digestion is quicker, gut emptying becomes faster, and the faster that is, the better for you and the better for your metabolic rate. And that takes me to another trick that you can use in your diet to make you shed those fats and keep yourself fit for longer and not regain that fat that you've lost. And that is, after your meals, you need to have a walk. Studies have shown that anytime you have a meal and you become active, that is, just after having a meal, you go around and walk, or you go do something, go for a swim, just immediately after, it's very good for your digestion, and then it's also good for your insulin. It reduces the level of insulin in your system. And anytime you know that the level of insulin is reduced, it means that insulin spike doesn't happen. If it reduces the insulin spike, it means that you're going to gain fat less, because sometimes it's the insulin spike that makes you retain so much fat due to insulin resistance. So anytime you're just finishing your meal, have a walk. Go for a swim, go do your chores in the house if you wanted to do them. But the mistake that most of us usually do is, after you have just eaten, obviously if you ate a lot, you'll suffer from some food coma, you'll feel lazy, you'll feel less likely wanting to move at that time. And you'll respect that by telling yourself that, let me rest the food less for a few minutes before I move around, so that the digestion can take place. And the opposite is true, actually. If you move just after you're eating, is when the digestion is going to take place better, and it's better and healthy, compared to when you just finish eating and you rest. And that takes me to another point, which is very important, which is a very awesome trick. This in fact is the best trick you can use in your eating, is procedure of eating your meals. Let's say you have a table full of meals, a table full of buffet, and you're just going to, you go and serve yourself. After serving yourself, you'll be having some carbs there. Of course, you'll be having some fats in form of, let's say, avocado, because right now we are people who are serious. We only eat things which are very healthy. We have some avocado there, some fish there, some rice, and some vegetables, right? Some kales. Then you go sit down with it. The procedure and the process, the order in which you eat this food is very important. In fact, if you eat the food in a certain way, it can work against you. You see, this is it. What you need not to do first is, if you start with sugars, your insulin spike will take place really fast. If you start with carbs, the same way. So what is the right order of eating so that your insulin spike is reduced by 40%? This is, anytime you're having your meals with all that, you start with vegetables. That's the first thing. Just a few bites before you go to the next thing. You eat your vegetables first. Then after that, go to the fats. What are the fats? The fats are stuff like avocado. Then after the fats, you go to the proteins. You eat your proteins. Then after proteins is when you go for your carbs. Then after the carbs, you finish with your sugars. If you eat in that order, you'll have reduced your insulin by 40%. It's funny, it's crazy, but that's what happens. But if you just go there, most of the time, what do we like doing? We starting with the soda as we wait for the food, especially when you go to the restaurant. We start with the milkshake as we wait for the food to be ready. What happens during this time is, we're just spiking our insulin to a very crazy level. Your blood sugar is going up really, really fast. So that by the time you're getting to your proteins, your gut is just effed already, because of the order in which you ate your meal. If you like any of these points, and if you're enjoying this video, I need you to subscribe, so that you support me, to give me more morale to continue researching these videos. It takes so much time to research these videos and put them and shoot them and edit them. Yeah, so just to give me morale, just share this video. And I want you also to, if you don't mind, subscribe, and let me see you in the next one.